Story of Renu and her negative mindset. Meet Renu. She's an excellent performer, but currently she's on a verge of completely giving up on things, her key projects, and even her most important relationships. When I spoke to her the first time over a Zoom call, it was a video call, and I actually found her almost in the similar picture that you see on the screen. She was confused, sad, very sad and disappointed, and overwhelmed with whatever was going on in her life. As she began to narrate her story to me, explaining, our call went on for almost 2 hours, especially the discovery call. And Renu almost broke down in the call. This suffering was not of a recent making. It was a result of a long drawn process, almost 3 years of her struggle and her suffering, where she did tried her own methods as always, but couldn't really find a concrete solution, clarity, and direction to the problem that she was into. Eventually, after 3 years, she now was so edgy that she simply wanted to give up. Presenting this case here, friends, I would also like to mention most of us are like Renu. When we suffer, the stresses, big and small issues in our life, which we don't seem to find a way out, somehow we all have this tendency to hold ourselves back instead of reaching out and seeking help. And this is precisely the result of not seeking support and thinking that one could somehow will be able to find a solution, or that the problem is too difficult, people may not understand, or I feel ashamed to share it. We have lots of stories we tell ourselves. Very similar stories is what Renu would tell herself for the past 3 years, which now has manifested into her broken self in deep pain and a verge of giving up. I helped Renu when she enrolled in my program, The Journey of Self. But this feeling of a broken self, feeling emotionally overwhelmed, basically arises from developing a tendency of a negative mindset. And in my work with her, the emphasis was for her to first understand what really led Renu from being a good performer, a cheerful girl, uh, someone who would live life to the fullest of her potential, turn into a chronic, worrisome person, or somebody who's adapting a chronic behavior of worrying all the time. The narrations she shared pointed towards certain things. I may not be able to give you the complete details of it, but the most important points that I've mentioned here will help most of you who are listening to this video and watching this to understand if at all you have also at some point in time, or even the present day today, if you feel you've developed a negative mindset, the various reasons are more or less general and it may apply to most of us, and I include myself into it. So, from her narrative, we found that the major influence in her life was her father. It not necessarily be a father for everyone, but parent per se could be a major influence in our life, because not just that we have a biological connection, but our upbringing years in which we are brought up and being taught certain values and beliefs imbibed in us, our first teachers are our parents, both our mother and father. So your early life influences will have an impact on your mindset. So if at all you suffer from a negative mindset, think through, does any of your parent or somebody who had an early life influence on you was of a negative mindset? And you will find an answer. In case of Renu, her early success stories were many and plenty. But since her father was somebody with a very pessimistic view of life, he would never validate. And most of her success stories went invalidated because he was judgmental of her, constantly criticizing her, and letting her know that he's the one who knows what's best for her. And this kind of, because he played a pivotal role and had a major influence on her, this invalidation of her success stories in her early life never gave that confidence to Renu that she was capable of things which she never thought she was. Then came her own trap of inner criticism, which was actually stemming from these first two factors, where she was made to believe that it's only the elders or her parents or the people who influenced her who knew what is right for her. What's the correct course of action? What approach and decisions one should take according to these people, but not according to Renu. So her sense of self never actually developed. This then led to a deep inner critic, which would always criticize her regardless of how good her work is. Finally, this then led to in her behavior, where she gave away her power. Her life was mostly driven by sometimes her spouse, earlier her fiance, then her children, who were now teenagers. And in her young years, it was her father. At office, it's one of her mentor, and then her boss. And one of the colleagues, she find them to be her good friends. So somehow Renu has distributed her power, her sense of self, her confidence amidst these people. And any difficulty or crisis that she goes through, for her, it's important that these are validated by all these people. All these people agree to her, they should acknowledge her, they should speak to her the way she wanted, and they will drive her. So the life of Renu, if you imagine that as a car, Renu is actually not on her driver's seat. Somebody else is driving it from time to time. People may take shifts, and she allows the others to drive her thoughts, her decisions, including her negative mindset. The reservoir of potential she's carrying inside her is just as is hidden, far away from her, because she's caught up in this web of negativity, where she just goes with what people have to say. She's open to criticism, but at the same time, she's taking that criticism as a proof and accepting it on the face value. For her, others matter. Their opinion matters, their views matters. And what Renu fails to remember here is that she as a person matters. Her life is unique with a unique set of views, talent, skills she brings to the table. Also, that she is a person of immense potential. But over a period of time, while she's been through difficult hardships and crises, and this mindset that she has developed basis on all these factors listed here, Renu has stopped thinking on her own feet or taking ownership or responsibility. And this is the reason why, as on today, Renu was more into a state of giving up because she's in a deep mess. There are several simultaneous problems running in her life, and she's just not able to find a single solution to it because she's caught up in this web of others, their opinions, their views, their influence, their decisions, or their judgments. Friends, most of us are like Rain. This is one of a case study that I present to you. But in your life, if you find yourself always on a verge of being very pessimistic, someone who thinks first negative and with a lot of effort can only think in a positive way, lacking confidence, feeling overwhelmed, anxious, you have stressed your nervous system to a very large extent. Because what we think, our body sense and feels it in every cell of our body. And a negative mindset is a root cause of many, many physical ailments, not to forget the mental ailments as well, that comes up later on in life. And in case of Renu, right now, at least it was good that after 3 years of suffering and on a verge of giving up, she finally decided to take this plunge and hire a coach and seek help. If you, just like Renu, feel or resonate with any of what I shared from her life, her case, I urge you to not waste a single precious moment, rather seek help. Because just the way this negative mindset was developed over several years, to replace it and to learn to balance the negative with the positive, to shift the mindset from pessimistic to an optimistic approach takes months of real hard work. This is something I found in this book while I was studying a literature on how to deal with personal crisis. And this resonated deeply with me. This is something that I helped Renu also with. This was a theme of our assignment, which is most of us are not aware that when we go through crisis or hardships or any kind of setbacks, we seldom look for shortcuts, hacks. Somehow we find a way out. And what we fail to understand is we have to actually pass through it. There's no other way around. Even while with your coach, like the way I assisted Renu, she had to pass through it. Only then she was able to see the other side of it and was able to move there. So anyone telling you that there are some shortcuts and hacks, I request not to believe in it because it's not true. Otherwise, who thinks that one could really find solutions may stay stuck in this vicious circle, perhaps forever. Here I present to you this journey of self. This coaching program I have developed basis on the things I have learned my way. And this is an extension of my expertise to help anyone just like me in the age group of early 30s to around mid 40s, finding themselves in deep crisis, or perhaps not really knowing what to do when they are either experiencing a setback or a sudden crisis. Now, this signature program of mine, just the way I was helped, would help anyone, beginning with the present day challenge that they are in, helping them really find their way through these 7 phases to where exactly they want to be. The overall theme of this program is into 7 phases. And as you see it on the screen, every phase has a sub theme underneath it, which step by step we would together build your resilience muscle. In my previous video, I had mentioned that I had introduced a short-term and a long-term program. But after some discussions, there's a slight change in that, wherein now I would keep this only for 3 months. And just the way I was helped, I extend my support and help to anyone seeking to build their resilience. So here's what happens when you apply and enroll with me. I call this the Triple C, Coach Consultation Call. So if you're interested to explore this with me, the first thing you do is you have the link given in the description box, and you'll find it also on my website. You fill in the application form. It's actually a Google survey form with some set of questions. Now, this questions basically is to help me, your coach, understand how best can I be of help to you. So this is the very idea here, is to help you, and I can help you best only when I understand and get an idea of what kind of help you need. So the application form has a set of questions you need to answer, submit. Based on the details you have shared, your call is scheduled by me, and the call is for a 60 to a 90 minute. It can vary in time depending on our discussion, which then within the call, you will be put across to a specific methodology that I have designed and created, helping you and helping me. How it helps you is it helps you experience how life coaching works, and it helps me check whether I'm the right coach for you, because I believe I want to really add that value to the trust you repose in me when you sign up with me. So I usually check fitment, and at times there could be issues where are beyond my scope of work, and I may just redirect you to the right resource, because I think each one of us deserve the best. So not necessary that coaching is the right answer for you. So I may redirect you, but if everything goes well, you enroll. And we start. Here's the resource referral. Basically, this is where I was talking about when the fitment is not, where we realize that the person is not the right fitment, and I may just give you a resource to refer to, which can be of more help than me as your coach. Otherwise, we enroll, and then from this, from the resource referral, this is when there's no fitment found, and otherwise it's enrollment. And from here, the final step here is the coaching journey. Your journey of self begins here. Thank you. And I look forward to having a quick conversation with you. Thank you.